that we will meet again next time? Well, this is it. Welcome back to another cell orientation video. But this time, we're not going to talk about the animal cell structure anymore. See this? This is an animal cell. And today, I'm going to break down to you its structures, its beautiful structures, and functions. So, enjoy the ride! Have you ever wondered how plants manage to keep its shape firm despite being defecated? Excuse me? Well, wonder not, because it has something to do with a structure called the cell wall. Just like in animal cells, which only have cell membrane, the cell wall in plant cells provide the overall rigidity and shape of the plants. The cell wall is primarily made up of cellulose, which are long fibers and linear polymers of hundreds of glucose molecules. And as I have mentioned, its function is to provide the plant's strength and rigidity despite many changes in the environment. Before I proceed to this next structure, I would like to remind you that there are some similarities between the structures and functions of an animal cells because they perform the same functions for the animals and plant cells. But without further ado, let's proceed to this next structure. This next structure that I'm going to briefly discuss to you is called the cytoplasm, this blue painting right here. And as I have mentioned in my previous video, this is where all the organelles float within the cell, including the vacuole, the nucleus, and the chloroplast. The next very important organelle that a plant has is what we call the chloroplast. Inside it has a structure called chlorophyll, which are responsible for the pigmented color of the plants. And basically, the function of chloroplast is to provide a process called photosynthesis, which are very important or essential for the plant cell. Since plants are called autotrophics, meaning they can provide their own food, they get sugar from the sun and will break it down into the mitochondria and convert it into energy. Amazing, right? Now we have the cell membrane, this pink structure over here. Just like in animal cells, plant cells have cell membranes too. Now again, we have structure or organelle called the Golgi apparatus. Once again, they are responsible for the modifying and packaging of materials from one cell to another. And now we have the vacuole, which is also one of the most important organelles that are found within the plant cell. Its main function is that it holds water, it holds materials, and it maintains the overall shape inside the plant cell. Next we have these tiny little dots are called the ribosomes. And as I have mentioned before, its function is that it provides protein synthesis that can also be used by the organelles to perform their tasks well. Next we have is the lysosomes. As I have mentioned before, it is also called the suicidal bags because, you already know that, it ingests toxic materials and will allow itself to burst out when needed. Lastly, again, we have this structure called the nucleus. It mandates everything that the organelles has to do. Without it, they won't be able to perform their job, they won't be able to keep the cell alive, even the plant itself. And that is all for today's cell orientation video. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot, and again, see you next time!